Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and by the end of it, I should be able to give you the graph of, or information about the graph of a circle, and you find its equation. So let's find the equation of the circle in this picture here. So we have that the center of the circle labeled here is 4, 1. So we know that the equation of this circle is going to be x minus 4 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals radius squared. So that just comes from what we learned in the previous video. The graph of something in the form x plus a squared plus y plus b squared equals r squared. It's always a circle and its center is minus a minus b. So remember, it's the negative of this that goes in the brackets, the negative of this that goes in the brackets. So all we need to do to complete this is find the radius. So we know from the center we've gone up 3, we've also gone down 3. The radius is 3. R equals 3, and therefore r squared equals 9. So there we have the equation of the circle, and we're done. Let's now look at a variant of this problem. Please pause and copy it down if you need. So now we will find the equation of a circle whose center is minus 1, 3 and passes through 2, minus 1. So this is very similar to the one we just did, except it gave us the center and we found the radius really easy. Here we just need to do a little more work to find the radius. So you don't have to graph this circle to solve this problem, but I'll do it just to show you what's going on. So plotting this information, we have a circle whose center is here and goes through this point here. So we have something like this. Circle, center, minus 1, 3, passes through 2, minus 1. Of course, drawing the circle won't be entirely accurate. So what I'm going to need to do is find the radius algebraically. So the radius is just this distance here, from the center to the circumference. So to go from this point minus 1, 3 to 2, minus 1, we've gone across 3 and down 4. So the radius there, using Pythagoras, is just going to be the square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared, which is equal to 5. The radius of this circle must be 5. So we know that the center being minus 1, 3, that means that the equation will be x plus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals the radius. This is exactly like the last problem. Now we've found the radius is 5, we just substitute r for 5. So here is our equation and we're done. All right, now we're just going to look at a slightly more challenging problem where we have to find the radius and center. All right, so for our last question, we're going to find the radius and center of this circle, x squared minus 2x plus y squared plus 6x equals 0. So this probably looks like it wouldn't be a circle to you. That's just because it's not written in the right form. X plus a all squared plus y plus b all squared equals r squared. So all we need to do is put this in that form. And if we put it in that form, if we find its equation in this form, we can easily find the radius and the center. So how am I going to put it in this form? Well, there's sort of two parts. I need to write this so it looks like this, and this so it looks like this. And the only way to do this, what makes this question complicated, is we need to use completing the square. So what I'm being asked to do is essentially write this as a perfect square and write this as a perfect square. So we want to write this as x plus something squared, and we want to write this as y plus something squared. So remember, what goes in here and here is half of b. Remember, it was b over 2. So if we view just this as a quadratic, a is 1, b is negative 2. So half of negative 2 is negative 1. Similarly, we can do the same here. This is like a quadratic where y is the variable, b is 6, we halve that, and we get 3. Now the problem is, of course, that this expression here does not quite equal that expression here. If I were to expand this, x minus 1 squared, I would get x squared minus 2x plus 1. Similarly, if I were to expand y plus 3 squared, I'd get y squared plus 6x plus 9. So this is not quite the same as that. In fact, this and this are almost the same, but here I've added 10. So what I need to do, so it's the same as this equation here, is I need to add 10 to both sides. That way, this equation will be the same as this. So I will get this. So now this equation with the adding 10 to both sides is the same as this. So I can write it as x minus 1 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 10. Now I've got the equation in the right form. So it's very easy from here. The center is just 1 minus 3. And then the radius is just the square root of 10. The radius doesn't always have to be a whole number. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.